Hello and welcome back to another week here at Knack Kitchen, where today we're making a lemon loaf. This loaf is scented with lemon, it's soaked in a lemon syrup and topped with a lemon glaze as well. It's absolutely delicious, exploding with this luscious lemony flavor, and is an absolute delight. So without wasting any more time, let's just dive into this video and see how we make this. So the first thing that we'll do is cream some butter and sugar. So here I have some melted butter. It should be soft, but a little bit of melted butter does not really make too much of a difference here, so that's totally fine. I've gone ahead and added some sugar. You can grind your sugar in a mixer just to make it easier to cream your butter and sugar together. So once they are creamed together, we're going to go ahead and add 2 eggs. We'll add the eggs one at a time and we'll beat it nicely for about 30 to 45 seconds. It does not take long even by hand, so if you were using a beater, it would probably take you only 15 seconds. So in we go with our second egg, and we're just going to combine this as well. So another 45 seconds to a minute later, it should look very beautifully combined and luscious just as is. At this stage, we're going to go ahead and add some vanilla extract for flavor. You can even use lemon extract if you have that at hand. Then we'll add some lemon juice and mix that in as well. At this stage, if you want, you can even add some lemon zest for added flavor. I just forgot to zest the lemon, so I did not add any. And now I've gone ahead and added some yogurt, and we're just going to give that a mix as well. If you want, you can even use sour cream in this recipe, but yogurt is more easily available here, so that's what I'm using. And now we go in with the dry ingredients, and I have some baking powder and some flour. The flour I'm going to add in 2 additions. The baking powder has gone all in at once, and we're just going to fold this in. And as you could have noticed, the batter had curdled quite a bit when I added the yogurt, but as we add the flour, it will all come together, so you don't need to worry. As soon as all of your flour is in this batter, you'll have a smooth batter just like any other cake. And right on cue, our super smooth cake batter is ready, and we're going to transfer this to a loaf pan. I'm using an 8 by 4 inch loaf pan, but this recipe works perfectly even for a 9 by 5 inch pan, so you can use whichever you have at hand. You can even make this in a round cake pan or a square cake pan. It works in just about any tin. And we're just going to smoothen out this batter, spread it out nicely, give it a tap on the countertop to ensure there are no air bubbles. I've transferred it to a baking tray. A couple of taps later, this goes into a preheated oven, and the details are in the description box below. Now we're making a lemon syrup to soak this cake in. So for that, I have some sugar and a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of water as well, and we are just going to bring this all to a boil until all of the sugar is dissolved and we have something which resembles the consistency of a syrup. So this is on about medium to medium high heat. You just need to bring it to a boil, give that a few mixes. You don't even need a spoon, just move your pan around, and once you notice that all of your sugar is dissolved, just let this cook for another 1 to 2 minutes, no longer. We don't want to reduce it too much, and then our lemon syrup is ready. So we're just going to take this off the heat and transfer this to any heat-proof bowl and set this aside. So you should do this about 10 minutes before your cake is done. And here, as you can see, my cake is out of the oven. It looks amazing. There'll always be a crack, so you don't need to worry about that. We're going to let it cool for about 15 minutes or even 10 minutes. 10 minutes works fine. And then we're going to poke some holes into this cake so that it can completely absorb our lemon syrup. So I'm using a toothpick. You could use any kind of skewer that you may have. And we're just going to poke all over, and then we're going to brush this with our syrup. Now the amount of syrup that you use is totally up to you. You can add as much or as little as you would like. I added about half of the syrup and brushed it very generously, and after that the rest of the syrup, if you're wondering what I did with that, I just ended up making some lemonade. It's delicious. It's just sugar, water and lemon juice at the end of the day. So now we're going to set this cake aside to cool completely, and once it has cooled completely at room temperature, we are going to glaze it with a lemon glaze, which is so easy. All you need is some powdered sugar or icing sugar and a little bit of lemon juice. So here I've added 2 tablespoons for now, and we're just going to whisk this all together until it is smooth. Now the consistency should be thick but pourable. That's the perfect consistency for your glaze. And as you can see, it was all good. I did not add any more sugar or lemon juice. And now this goes directly onto our loaf. Now I have a wire rack and a tray underneath because this loaf is definitely going to drip over the cake, but that's going to be totally fine. There's not going to be any spillage. So we're going to use all of this glaze and then spread it out. So I'm using a spoon. You can use anything at hand just to ensure that the entire top is covered. So once the top is covered, I'm going to let the excess drip over the sides. It just adds to the presentation. And now we need to let this cool for another hour so the glaze can set. And here you have my lemon loaf. It's completely cooled down. The glaze is set. It looks amazing. It's got this beautiful marble effect. And I had this on a white platter and I realized that everything was so white, so I ended up using a chopping board. I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this cake into pieces. And here you can see the beautiful moist loaf already cut out into slices, ready for me to dig in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a bite and show you how beautifully moist and tender this cake is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this recipe, then please do give a like, do share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next week.